On this episode of Mothman of the Bible Belt, Alex, Sam, and Brandon of West Virginia cosmic jazz and space funk band Space Freq discuss their latest release, Frequencies of the Ether, how they developed their sound, and playing jazz and funk in a predominantly rock and roll state. The band chime in on whether or not jazz legend Ella Fitzgerald sold out for hocking KFC in the 80s, and if the band would ever record a Diane Warren track. Coming up next.
Welcome to the Mothman in the Bible Belt podcast with your host, Buck Fantastic.
Girl Scout cookies.
Space Freq is a three-piece cosmic jazz and space funk band from Oak Hill, Charleston, and Beckley, West Virginia. On November 23rd, they dropped their 8-track LP, Frequencies of the Ether, a follow-up to their debut EP, Sunday Driver. Frequencies of the Ether can be purchased on iTunes, Amazon Music, and Bandcamp. Join me, your host, Buck Fantastic, for another exciting episode of Mothman of the Bible Belt. It's a eclectic chit-chat of otherworldly origins. Welcome to the Mothman of the Bible Belt. Sam, Brandon, Alex, Space Freq. How are you all doing this evening?
Wonderful.
Fantastic.
Brandon,
Right.
when did Space Freq form?
Space Freq formed probably, I'd say, when it actually formed, probably 2022, and then took about a year to actually find Alex, and then so say, an actual gigging Space Freq probably 2023.
Yeah, our
Been
first-
formed in
Our first show was October 6th at the Empty Glass
Yeah.
of 2023.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was our first actual live performance as a band. Because these guys asked me to join. What was it, like 2 or 3 different times before I finally decided just to take the leap? Like spread out over the course of like every 6 months, you'd be like, "Hey man, have you changed your mind yet? Well, you want to come try out?" And one day I just did it. Now here we are.
Was there another bassist before you, Alex?
Yeah, his name was Chris. They know more about him. I never met him. I don't know much about him, but they could tell you about him.
Well, he's a guitar player and he was filling in on bass for us. And you know, we were trying to make that work, but it just wasn't the right fit, you know. That's pretty much all it was.
Sam, was it difficult formulating Space Freq sound?
It wasn't difficult necessarily, but it was a process, you know, just figuring out all the different sounds and like the direction to take, you know, specific type of jams and stuff like that. It's a little bit of a process, but I wouldn't say it was real hard.
Alex, what musical influences feed Space Freq's work?
Well, for me in my playing specifically, my musical taste is all over the place. I'm a huge jam band guy. Rush is my all-time favorite band. I'm into the Grateful Dead, Jimi Hendrix, all the classic stuff. I like to step outside of the normal boundaries of bass playing. I try to, at least. I like to bend the rules a little bit. I'm not too knowledgeable on music theory and all the intricate things that go with that, but just the feel of the instrument for me is all I need is just feel. Plus with these two guys with me, it's just like Sam said, it wasn't really hard for us to formulate a sound. Like we just kind of hopped in and just let everything flow and let all of us be creative the way that we are, and it works every single time. So it's a really beautiful process. But yeah, I mean, my music roots influences is all the old school classic rock bands and even some modern day jam bands like Big Something, Spafford. I'm in love with the music scene, specifically around North Carolina and the jam band scene. It's a beautiful thing.
How did you all come up with a cosmic jazz space funk genre to work with musically?
Well, musically, we, you know, like you said, just started playing together and it came together. As far as the term cosmic jazz, I believe Alex heard that from somewhere, said that about us, and
Yeah,
was like,
somebody
okay,
said
I
somebody
like
said it
that.
to me at work. I was just playing stuff over the speaker from practice from the recordings that we had when we first started out, and like obviously I'd been working at the same place at the gas station for like 8 years, so I knew everybody. So I just put it on the Bluetooth speaker and let people listen to it. And there was this one guy that came in and was just like, "That sounds like some cosmic jazz, man. I like that." And I just coined it to them, and they're like, "Yeah, let's throw that in the bio. That sounds pretty cool."
Brandon,
Yeah.
Space
Yeah.
Freak's 2-song EP, Sunday Driver, dropped in 2022. Both tunes are instrumentals. Will your new record, Frequencies of the Ether, have lyrics and singing?
Yes, we do have songs with lyrics that Sam is comprised for the ones that he wrote. I have one instrumental on there, but we'll just see where things take us, especially with we're about to drop this new album and see how people dig it. I'm sure everybody's gonna like it a lot.
When is Frequencies of the Ether dropping?
The date is set for November 23rd right now. That's the targeted release date.
Yeah,
Will this be on Bandcamp, iTunes, Amazon Music, what have you?
It'll be on Spotify, it'll be on Apple, it'll be on Amazon, it'll be on all the major streaming platforms.
yeah,
And on
all
YouTube
major
Music.
Sam, Robbie Lanham, he produced Frequencies of the Ether or engineered it?
Yeah, we had him record and mix and master the whole album for us.
I just listened to his work on Matt Dill's Drunken Belligerent Forget Me Nots, and it's really polished,
Oh, yeah.
really great.
He does a great job. We feel like he did a really awesome job on our tracks as well. We're really happy with it.
Oh yeah, good guy.
Alex, I was looking on your YouTube and Facebook page. I was just checking to find out what's all on the upcoming record is. I saw some songs, Gypsy Sprocket, Space Tripper, Open Your Mind, and Strut. Are they going to appear on the record?
Absolutely.
So who is the primary songwriter in the band?
That would be me, pretty much. All the ones with the lyrics I wrote, and then those first two instrumentals that are out on that EP, pretty much wrote those. And then Brandon's got one of the new ones that he wrote, and then the last track on the album is one that Alex threw in there, and it's pretty interesting. It's actually we all just improv'd it out, but he had the bass
one
line
take
at first.
One take. They were like, "Hey,
Yeah,
you guys
one
just
and
want to do an improv
one
jam
and
for
done.
this last track," and as you hear the song on the record is exactly how it was recorded. Like it was one take, no click track, anything like that. I just did a bass line. They came in over the top, and we just took it. And look for that on the album. It's called Trickle. It's a little different than our other stuff, but it's equally as fun, in my opinion.
Sam, if Diane Warren offered you all a song, would you record it or tell her to go blank herself?
Who?
Diane Warren.
I'm not sure who that is.
You don't know who Diane Warren is? The schlock songwriter from the 80s and 90s, who's written all these songs for Starship, Laura Branigan, Celine Dion, Cher, Air Supply.
No, sorry, I guess now I know, but previously to this, no, I was unaware.
Brandon,
Yeah.
you all live in 3 different counties. How do you all find the time to record and play gigs living so far apart?
Oh, just the thing is that you have to want it. It's like anything else that you're striving for or working towards. You have to really want it and work towards it. And I mean, I'm probably the busiest out of everyone in the band. I have multiple jobs, multiple kids, and trying to keep up with all their daily lives and mine, as well as the other guys in the band. It's hard, but just sacrifice. Like it's a big part of it. You have to be willing to sacrifice time to put in time. So it's harder than most. A lot of people can't hang. That's why it's kind of hard to find musicians in our area, because no one wants to take it serious. And just trying to, you just got to keep doing what we're doing, keep making it to practices, and just keep this mothership rolling here. Pretty much it.
So, do you all rehearse in Oak Hill, Charleston, or Beckley?
Usually in Beckley.
Usually Beckley. Sometimes we've gone down to Alex's house, but mostly in Beckley,
You know,
in Raleigh County.
usually convene at my house.
When people think of jazz, they traditionally think of black music artists like Ella Fitzgerald, Billie Holiday, and Miles Davis. Do you three white dudes feel like fish out of water doing jazz?
No.
No, I feel surprisingly comfortable actually.
That's
Doing the funk and the jazz and the soul. That just I don't know.
and I'll be the
Just
one to
comes
tell you
natural
too,
to me.
man. The jazz and funk aspect of our band, like I never would have seen myself as that type of bass player. I've always just been more into classic rock and roll and metal and stuff like that. And surprisingly, like I said, these guys make it real easy for me to just come up with things on the spot. Like we just have that flow, and that's the beautiful part about it. Like I wouldn't want to do this with anybody else. These guys get it. We all have something special. I don't think Space Freak would be Space Freak without each and every one of us together.
The only other like white guys I know that I'm remotely into doing jazz is that Swiss rock duo Blood, known for that 80s one-hit wonder, Captain of Her Heart and Curtis Stigers. That Never Saw a Miracle song really caused my ears to bleed in the 90s. And then there's Tony Bennett. Were y'all Tony Bennett fans? Are you Tony Bennett fans? Or
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I've listened to him. He's pretty good. I'm not like a avid listener though.
Yeah, I've heard.
Blondie's Debbie Harry took a dip into the jazz waters in the mid-90s with the jazz band, the Jazz Passengers. Do y'all think it helped improve her voice? From her,
What is it now?
Blondie's Debbie Harry. She
Mhm.
was in the Jazz Passengers in the mid-90s. She did a record with them and toured with them. And I don't know. I just personally, I think it helped her voice from like the days of the 70s and 80s. It just, I don't know. I just think it strengthened it. If you listen to that Blondie comeback record, No Exit. I was just curious what your all slots were. If you all,
Yeah, I agree. I feel like playing or singing jazz could, definitely help anybody's chops.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it's very structured. Did you all get to catch the 2024 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony last night?
I wanted to. I did not. I actually went to a to a show. I went and saw this guy. I think he's from a band called Television. Richard Lloyd, I believe his name is, and some other band. And I had a good time, but hopefully it's on YouTube because I do want to go back and catch that.
Yeah.
Who do y'all think needs to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame who isn't already?
Oh man, that's a tough question.
Needs to be and isn't already.
Oh man, there was a band that I've been saying forever. I cannot remember who it is.
That's some good questions.
Yeah. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. Well, there's quite a few, I think.
I just got to figure out who's in already.
Yeah.
I saw that Rock Hall ceremony earlier today, and it was okay. I liked Kool and the Gang. That was, out of all the acts, that was the only one, being a child of the 80s, that was the only one that I was really excited about, to be quite. I liked seeing Cher get inducted since she's been in the music industry since the 60s.
Yeah.
But seeing Kool and the Gang, there's just two members alive.
Yeah.
I mean, and getting inducted that are alive. I mean, that was pretty exciting.
Yeah, that is pretty awesome.
They did a medley of their hits. The Rock Hall let Lou Gramm sing one song with Foreigner, which to me is blasphemy. What does he do? He does I Want to Know What Love Is with Kelly Clarkson. Sam, did Ella Fitzgerald sell out Hocking Chicken for KFC in the 80s? Did it hurt her music credibility?
KFC in the 80s. Well, I back then I'm not sure. I wasn't really around just yet until the late 80s. So I don't know.
I just figured a great jazz artist like herself, Hocking Chicken. I mean, that I just screamed sellout to me, you know. But that's just me. That's just me. Matt Dill said
I
That
mean,
he's scared of AI in music. Are you all scared? Well, he said he's terrified. He's terrified.
Ah, man.
I'm not scared, but I'm not into it. Like I don't think it's all that.
To me,
I've heard some of it. And
yeah,
it doesn't really make sense.
I'm not scared
I'm
of
not
it.
into it, but
I actually am entertained by like I'm not sure if you guys know who Seth Drums is on YouTube and TikTok and stuff like that, but he has things that he'll do drum covers on over top of AI generated songs, and they're pretty funny. But the one thing I worry about, I'm not really fearful of it. I'm worried about the authenticity of music because of computer generated things. It takes away from like the raw talent from any of your buddies or anybody that you know or don't know just picking up an instrument and playing it. I mean, I've seen people put together songs with AI. It's really easy. Chat GTP like, hey, do this and make this a song, and then it'll just produce something. It'll take everything together, produce one thing.
AI will never be able to do what a human mind can do, add emotion to words and
exactly. There's no emotion in it. That's the one thing that bothers me.
No machine can ever recreate, regardless of however long it takes to try. It's not going to happen for it.
How does most modern jazz and funk music stack up to the more traditional jazz and funk that was recorded 50 some years ago?
Well, I think it stacks up pretty well if you're listening to the right stuff. And so if you're just going to turn on the radio and let them play the hits for you or whatever, then, whatever's popular now, absolutely not. But if you, if you dig in and find, a lot of jam bands and a lot of other, funk bands and stuff that are, I don't know, I guess underground, you'd consider them or whatever. There's a lot of amazing artists out there right now. It's just, the radio and the top 10 and this and that doesn't bring it to you anymore. You got to go find it to listen to it.
West Virginia is predominantly a rock music state. Is it difficult finding venues to play your jazz funk music?
Yeah, we've had a couple of venues turn us away because it's more of there's a lot of country bars and stuff around here, so it's if you're not we've been turned away just because of our style of music, not obviously because of our abilities or talent or anything like that. But I mean, a majority of the time we don't have an issue. If we reach out to a place, they'll usually work with us. But there's specific venues around our parts here that are just more focused on the country scene because that's their clientele. That's who they see day in and day out. So they wouldn't want to bring people like us in who's like a completely different scene. You know what I mean?
Many early jazz artists use heroin, cocaine, and morphine to spark their creativity. What gets your all's creative juices flowing? Brandon.
Let's see. I don't know. I could really try to stay high on life if I can.
What about you, Sam?
For me, man, when I get that guitar in my hands, it's, obviously my guitars especially, but, any guitar that like really inspires me to play and create. Like when I get that thing in my hands, I don't know, some of the songs that are even on this album that's coming out, I just, wake up one day and just walk through the house, pick up my guitar and just boom, sit down and write a song. Like it just, yeah. There's nothing else inspires me like that but guitar.
Usually all it takes for me, man, same thing as these guys, dude. I pick up the bass. I could even put on the drum beat and just go to town. It's just a feel thing. Sometimes, I'll work a long shift at work. I'll come home, have a couple of beers or something like that to loosen up so I can play a little bit better. But as far as anything else goes, I mean, we really just try to let the flow take over.
Now, I got a thing called 5 questions. Who wants to do it?
I'm not scared.
Okay, Brandon. Miles Davis or Louis Armstrong?
Don't tell Louis, but Miles.
Okay. Nina Simone or Lena Horne?
Lena Horne.
Best actress to portray Billie Holiday, Diana Ross or Andra Day?
Andra Day.
Best Christmas movie, Gremlins or Silent Night, Deadly Night?
Ernest Saves Christmas.
It went with the right end.
Bad Santa.
I'm gonna plug that right there.
We all know the real answer to that question is National
Yeah.
Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
No,
Are the
definitely
Swedes destroying American music?
the Swedes?
The
Is
Swedes.
that what you said?
Yes.
Like Swedish metal? Is that what we're talking about?
Swedish music, like
All of
Max Martin. He's Swedish. He's producing and writing songs for so many music artists that it's like you can't turn on the radio and not hear one of his songs. And it's just, so I was just curious, do you think that the Swedes are destroying American music?
No, because they can influence their part of music, but it's never gonna change like true American creativity.
Do you all have any upcoming gigs you'd like to plug?
December 14th, we're back at the shop opening for Disco in Charleston, and then back at the Empty Glass on December 21st, and with Barreau opening for us.
Where did you all come up with that name, Space Freak?
Well, we've always talked a lot about frequencies. Brandon's real into frequencies. So we've talked a lot about that kind of stuff. And then, I make a lot of spacey sounds with the effects and stuff on my guitar. And
space is awesome like dinosaurs.
Yeah. What's that?
I said space is awesome like dinosaurs.
Yeah. Space, dinosaurs, both awesome. And so Space Freak is just catchier than Space Frequency, like spelling out the whole word. So just shorten it to Freak, F-R-E-Q.
I want to thank Space Freaks Sam Mills, Alex Garcia, and Brandon Dent for being my guests. You can follow Space Freak on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Spotify, and YouTube. For Mothman and the Bible Belt podcast outlet updates, guest bios, and episode breakdowns, please check us out on the web at www.mothmanandthebiblebelt.com. Thanks for listening.